Can peace be achieved in Gaza amidst escalating conflict? This question looms large as the world watches the unfolding drama in the Middle East. Let's bring you up to speed on the current situation. Israel has launched a major military offensive in Rafah, Gaza, a strategic move aimed at eliminating Hamas forces and taking control of aid flow into the beleaguered territory. This operation comes at a critical juncture, with ceasefire talks underway and Hamas signaling acceptance of a proposed truce deal. However, the path to peace is fraught with challenges. The operation has already led to casualties and raised humanitarian concerns, with aid agencies sounding alarms over a potential catastrophe. The situation is further complicated by the pressures of international diplomacy and domestic politics, while the uncertainty surrounding the negotiations continues to fuel the flames of conflict. As the conflict rages on, the world watches with bated breath. What stands in the way of a ceasefire, you might ask? Well, there are several stumbling blocks that are making the path to peace rather bumpy. To start with, Israel has 4 key issues with the ceasefire deal proposed by Qatar and Egypt. While Hamas accepted the deal, Israel rejected it, creating a rift in negotiations. Then there's the matter of the Rafah crossing, a key location in Gaza. Israeli forces have taken control of this crossing, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made it clear that withdrawing from Gaza would leave Hamas intact, a situation he finds untenable. Adding to the fray, the Labour Party in the UK is questioning arms exports to Israel amidst the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Rafah. While Hamas has issued a stern warning, there will be no ceasefire deal if Israeli aggression in Rafah continues. It's a delicate balancing act with lives hanging in the balance. As Netanyahu stated, Israel will continue its war against Hamas while negotiators work on a more favorable deal in Egypt. The path to peace is fraught with complications. How is the world responding to the crisis in Gaza? As Israel continues its offensive in Rafah, it finds itself under the weight of mounting international pressure. The United States, alongside other Western nations, is urging for an immediate cessation of hostilities, fearfully anticipating an escalation of the conflict and subsequent protests. Yet the global stage is not a unified front. Notably, Iran stands out in its support for the Gaza militants, adding another layer of complexity and tension to the already volatile situation. Meanwhile, the Biden administration finds itself in a tight spot, caught between supporting its long-standing ally and opposing Israel's objectives in Gaza. This delicate balancing act is stirring criticism and debate, with some questioning whether the necessity to neutralize Hamas's threat justifies the current course of action. Indeed, the world's response to the crisis is far from monolithic. Some nations rally behind Israel's cause, while others condemn its actions. This international discord echoes the complexity of the situation on the ground. The world is divided in its response to the crisis in Gaza. What lies in the future for Gaza? As we gaze into the fog of uncertainty, we see a landscape scarred by conflict, a place where violence has become commonplace and where peace seems as elusive as a desert mirage. The ongoing strife has taken a heavy toll, with significant casualties and displacement, a stark testament to the brutality of war. This conflict has not only affected the people of Gaza, but it's also sent ripples across the world, putting allies and domestic politics into a pressure cooker. Allies of Israel find themselves walking a diplomatic tightrope, trying to balance their support for Israel's right to self-defense with the humanitarian imperative to protect innocent lives. At home, the Israeli government faces a delicate balancing act, with the public opinion divided between those who advocate for a hardline stance and those who call for compromise and diplomacy. As we traverse this road ahead, one thing is clear: the path to peace is fraught with challenges. It's a journey that not only requires military strategy, but also diplomatic finesse. The world watches on, hopeful yet anxious, as negotiations continue to unfold, each step forward matched with a step back, a dance as intricate as it is precarious. The future of Gaza hangs in the balance, with the hopes of peace pinned on the fragile threads of negotiation.